So I removed the iPad Pro, the Remarkable, and replaced it with an iPad mini. It's so cute, it works wonders. This week I decided to sell two particular products, the iPad Pro and the Remarkable. And yeah, my friend saw those and I had a lot of comments coming in. Why did you sell them? Don't you like them? So I decided to do a video on productivity today. Where is my clutter? Do I need to declutter or not? Am I comfortable in the productivity system I'm in? I am now a parent of two children. My biggest constraint is time at the moment. I have to do quite a lot in a compressed amount of time. So I am decluttering anything. And my workflow, my equipment. When it comes to workflow, I am going through my apps, through my devices, and clean as much as possible to have everything streamlined. Honestly, it really helps me at the stage. That is what I want, that is what I need. So yeah, why did I sell the iPad Pro, or why am I selling the Remarkable? Do I like them? Yeah, both. I love them both. It was quite emotional for me to sell these things. I love these things, I get attached to this technology. It's not easy for me to sell stuff. I spend money on technology and on the latest devices and stuff. It's a matter of selling equipment which I don't use much anymore and getting new stuff to experiment with, to see what works and not. So yeah, I love the iPad Pro. I used it frequently. There were times or phases where I didn't use it much and I thought of selling it, but I always go back to it, especially when we're on set, let's say, and we use it as a portable monitor, production monitor, you know. Nowadays most people view their content on Apple devices anyway, or screens similar to that. So for us, having an iPad where we can view what we're filming and stuff like that is amazing. I used it with clients too, to showcase videos and stuff, you know. Yeah, it was quite essential for me. It's not a must, but it's a nice to have, right? The Remarkable, oh god. I didn't sell it yet. And do I love it? Yes. Did I use it? Yes, definitely. And it hurts to sell it, honestly. I love the concept of it, less distractions approach and all that stuff. However, as I said, I'm going through a phase where I am decluttering my system. I had a problem where I want to find a note, and in my head I have to go through several devices, several apps before I find that note that I need to find. And that was not helping me at all in this situation. So one of the biggest aims for this year was to minimize stuff as much as possible, as I said, to remove all the clutter and streamline things as much as possible. Long story short, my aim is to find the note I need to find in a matter of seconds, because there's no time to waste. So yeah, I've gone through my devices, and unfortunately I concluded that I no longer need the iPad Pro, for the time being at least, at this phase in my life. And though it's really nice to have and exciting to have, I don't need the Remarkable also because of having a lot of notes scattered everywhere. So I was using the Notes app, Tangible, Note to Paper, you know, and stuff like that, the Remarkable, Notion. So it was getting quite difficult for me to remember where actually is that particular note. So instead, I decided to buy something else. So I removed the iPad Pro, the Remarkable, and replaced it with an iPad mini. It's the size of a notebook, it's small, convenient, I'm loving it. Even in cafeterias, you don't need to open a huge laptop, you just have your iPad mini, do your stuff, consume content, productivity apps, check your email, use your reminders app, notes, note-taking, even during meetings with clients. That worked perfectly. It's been at me for two weeks, I would say, so I didn't do all the stuff yet. I tried it in cafeterias. I wasn't in a meeting yet with it to take notes, but man, iPad mini with an Apple Pencil. It's so cute, it works wonders. Rather than having two devices, I have one. It doesn't replace the iPad Pro because it's not an iPad Pro. It doesn't replace the Remarkable because it's not a Remarkable. However, this is more than enough for me at the time being, and I realized that the only Pro thing that I need at the moment is my MacBook Pro. That's my safe place, that's where I've edited always, so that's where I'm most comfortable in. But having a small digital device, but not as small as an iPhone, somewhere in between. Like the iPad mini is so convenient. So that's how I decluttered things. So rather than two devices, extra devices, I have one now, which is small and so portable. By the way, I love the screen size of it. It's just amazing, and I'm looking forward for the update later this year when it comes to the iPad mini. When it comes to apps, productivity apps, I've also gone through this decluttering process, and what I've done is this. I decided to go to the Apple native apps. Why? They integrate really good with each other. I use the reminders apps as reminders, and that's my to-do list. It's divided in sections. So for each project, I have the to-do list, etc. And those reminders show up in my calendar, which is amazing because when I go on Monday, let's say next Monday, I can see what my to-do list is, what I need to do, what events I have and stuff like that. Then I use the Notes app, the Apple Notes app, which is amazing too. I find it really good, and it syncs really well. It fits well in the whole Apple ecosystem. I'm sure that Android has their own system, by the way, if you're an Android user. In my case, I'm using the Apple native apps. I think they're made really well, even the calendar, the way it syncs. So main three apps: calendar, notes, and reminders. Then we use Notion at work and some other apps like frame.io, etc. But mainly the main productivity apps are those: the mail app, obviously, calendar, reminder, and notes. So these four are all for Apple products, and they sync really well together. Then when it comes to Notion, I sync the Notion calendar to the Apple calendar, so that works seamlessly too. So yeah, that's what I've done. Decluttered my app system, decluttered my physical stuff, the digital technology I use, and to be as fast as possible, as efficient as possible in the limited time I have. Now, one important thing to keep in mind is what works or what is working for me now doesn't mean that works for you. I suggest you try it because there's a lot of behind the scenes homework going on till I decide to go in a particular system. But what works for me is working for me at the moment, and it doesn't mean that it's gonna work for me in the future or that it works for you now. So you always have to do some homework to see, listen, where is my clutter? Do I need to declutter or not? Am I comfortable in the productivity system I'm in, or I have a lot of loose ends and I want to perfect that? So that is something you need to keep in mind. I hope you took something out of this whole productivity improv session today. I was planning to do a video on having a studio space and why do I think that is essential for you. To have a nice studio space to work in as a creative or as a filmmaker or as somebody else. But I had so many questions surrounding these two items that I put on Marketplace that I decided to just improvise and do this video for you today. That's it, and if you think that this content is of value to you, hit the subscribe button.